All right, I need you to package up what you just heard in the last 10 minutes. Just put it on the shelf for now. Let's get our heads out of the church for a little bit and into mission. That will be an easy move for some of you and a stretch for others. I invite you to continue to stay aware of your own inner feelings of comfort or discomfort, familiarity or unfamiliarity as we explore these categories of faith expression, because that awareness will help us understand both where we are situated and where someone else might be coming from. So I begin the reflection on this category by talking about the missional heart. The missional heart belongs to those believers whose call to faithfulness brings them into direct contact with human suffering and social need. As Janet Geer puts it, and I quote, "Missionals live their faith through what their hands are doing." Who are the missionals? They can be found in healing or helping professions. They might be involved in global partnerships and outreach ministries. They may volunteer for public service. They may be grief counselors, aid workers, hospital or military chaplains. Their mantra might be the line from one of our hymns: "We are here to help each other walk the mile and bear the load." And here's an interesting fact that we haven't seen yet in either of the first two categories of faith expression. A missional is a missional no matter how or whether they congregate. Missionals have a doing faith. They live a hands-on faith, and that might mean that they're busy doing something missional rather than attending Sunday service. In fact, this reminds me of someone who used to sell duck race tickets to raise funds for a good community cause, even when it kept him out of church on a Sunday morning. Missionals feel called to be the hands and feet of Christ in the world. If we were to encapsulate their theological framework, it might sound like this: I believe that through Jesus' call to discipleship, God's love is incarnate, embodied, in followers who show love to neighbor and stranger. Favorite Bible story? The Good Samaritan, right? No surprise there. A key Bible text, let's read it together. It's from the Gospel according to Matthew. "Then the king will say to those at his right hand, 'Come, you that are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me.'" So how does congregational life look for a missional lived faith? Well, we've already intimated that it's more important to the missional to be the church than to go to church. That implies that the church is more than just a place. Janet Geer says that if an ecclesial Christian understands the church as a body, a missional Christian understands the church as an activity. Well, there are, of course, many missionals in church sanctuaries, and I'm sure we have some here among us this morning. The collective missional experience, the body, the gathering, the congregated missional experience is expressed in community ministries and in faith-based social enterprise. That's like church for a missional. It's actually hard to find a missional congregation per se, although there are a few examples, such as when a church building itself becomes a shelter for the unhoused. To live a missional faith expression is to be in relationship with those you serve. The gifts of this faith expression will not surprise us: pragmatism and practical skills, authenticity, humility, service, compassion, public engagement, social connection. When missionals bring these gifts into a congregation, their operative theology affects and shapes the theologies of that faith community. It's a gift to have missionals in our midst. Missionals protect the church from isolation and romanticism and exclusivity. It's hard to criticize a missional, right? Romero House, Mother Teresa, people who give of themselves wholly for the sake of those who are suffering. Missionals do the good work in the world that we all know needs doing. And yet there is a shadow side here too. Gear identifies it as naivete. Let's unpack that a bit. A missional lived faith can get so satisfying and busy and fulfilling doing the practical things that cry out to be done that there may be resistance to asking the why questions that would compel us to think systemically. So maybe we're so busy gathering food for the food bank that we haven't stopped to figure out why that food bank is necessary to certain people. That's the why question. There may be an inclination on the part of the missional to become attached to the problem that gives us something we can do, rather than to the underlying cause that might force us to rethink who we are. And the missional Christian may make assumptions about what people need, with the potential result of never progressing towards a solution to the underlying problem. The antidote that Gear proposes to this shadow comes from the playbook of the ecumenical faith expression, which is one of next week's categories, so be listening for that. The antidote is systemic analysis and sophistication. Systemic analysis and sophistication would bring the missional to a deeper awareness of the causes of suffering, including our own culpability in that situation that has created a place of suffering. And it would avoid the shadow of simplistic service that might make us feel good, but may not necessarily offer the best solution or the healthiest support. All right, I'm going to invite the choir to come and offer its second anthem, a song from our newest songbook. Then let us sing. It's called God Ever Moving.